Hello everyone, Ron Veitel, Siskiyou Vital Medicine's nutrition and lifestyle coach, coming to you today with a little video blog. I wanted to discuss a fairly controversial topic in the world of nutrition, and that is the acid and alkaline diet. This is a concept that's been around for quite some time and widely accepted in the world of alternative health. But as I started to do the research on this some years ago, I began to find that it was more of a myth than it was science, more of an ideology than it was science, which seems to be the way that a lot of nutrition goes. Lots of ideology with sprinklings of science in it. And so what I want to talk to you about is how does acid and alkaline work in the physiology? How do foods influence the pH of your body tissue, your blood, and your urine, if they do at all? And then how to eat in a way where there's a wonderful balance and you're not caught up in testing your pH all the time, because as it turns out, testing the pH of your urine is not a really great way to determine your overall state of health. So let's talk about this. When we eat food, and it goes through the digestive process, which is a fiery process, there is left behind, because of the minerals and the protein that are in the food, ash. Just like if you were to burn wood, there's ash that's left over. Food does the exact same thing in our system. And that ash can either be acid forming or alkaline forming. And the acid forming ashes are usually high in phosphate and sulfur containing amino acids from the protein. And those foods, the foods that contain those, are usually animal products like meat and dairy, as well as grains. And the alkaline forming ashes are usually found or come from fruits and vegetables, and they're higher in calcium, magnesium, and potassium. And pure foods that are like pure fats, like coconut oil or butter, they don't produce an ash at all because they don't have the protein or the minerals to do so. So you don't have to worry about things like coconut oil or butter influencing your pH. Now, when you look at the scientific evidence that is out there, which I have seen over 200 different abstracts in regards to does food influence, does food create an acidic environment for cancer to grow in, things like that. There's about 200 different abstracts just on that topic alone. There is not one single study that has concluded that that is the case, that when you eat acid forming foods like meats and grains, it creates an acid environment, an acidic environment in your blood and body tissue. And I'm going to explain why. Now, these foods do influence the pH of your urine. The pH of your urine will fluctuate based on the foods that you consume. So if you drink a green smoothie in the morning and test your urine pH, you're going to find that your pH is going to be slightly alkaline. And if you eat bacon and eggs in the morning and you test your urine pH after eating that meal, you're going to find that your urine is slightly acidic. So urine pH fluctuates based on what you eat, but your blood and your body tissue does not, because your blood and body tissue pH has to maintain such a narrow window of pH for you to actually survive, that it will not fluctuate, and that it is tightly maintained. And the blood pH is tightly regulated by our kidneys. Our kidneys really regulate our blood pH. Now, in the acid alkaline theory, if you eat a lot of acidic foods like animal proteins, then that's going to cause your blood to become more acidic, and the body will pull calcium out of the bones to buffer that acidity, and that can lead to shedding of calcium via the urine, and therefore osteoporosis. Well, it ends up that is not true. That is not what happens. The blood does not pull calcium out of the bones. The blood's pH is maintained by calcium in the blood, but primarily from the kidneys. The kidneys are the one maintaining the blood pH, and it's vital to your existence that your blood stays at about 7.4. It will get a little more acidic, like say you have low oxygen consumption, maybe did some really intense sprinting or weightlifting where you weren't consuming a lot of oxygen. The blood pH will drop a little bit, but it'll spring back quickly for your own livelihood's sake, really. So blood pH is not influenced by the food you consume. And this also gets a little tricky because you see a lot of information in the world of cancer that says, well, if you eat an alkaline diet, that is going to create an alkaline environment, which cancer cannot grow in an alkaline environment, which is not true. Cancer can grow in an alkaline environment. The blood and body tissue pH is around a 7.4, and cancer can grow in that environment. In fact, most of the studies on cancer have grown cancer cells in an environment that is exactly that of a normal human being's, in a pH of about 7.4. They grow better in an acidic environment, but cancer will grow in an alkaline environment. The thing with cancer is that it's not the acidic environment that creates the cancer. It's the cancer that creates the acidic environment. When a tumor starts to form, it increases its use of glucose and it will decrease circulation. And by doing those two things, it begins to create an acidic environment for itself. So it's the cancer that causes the acidic environment, not the acidic environment that causes the cancer. That's really important to understand. So, that being said, when people start to eat a more alkaline diet and they feel good, it's not because they're shifting their blood or their body tissue pH. It's usually because they are increasing their consumption of plants. Rarely a bad idea, because plants have a ton of phytonutrients, vitamins, minerals that are essential for our physiology to thrive optimally. Okay, so when we increase our consumption of plants, we're increasing our consumption of antioxidants. We're increasing our consumption of plant compounds like flavonoids, which have anti-cancer properties, anti-inflammatory properties. You're increasing your consumption of all these phytochemicals that have protective and health-inducing effects upon your physiology. Fantastic. Also, why people feel better when they eat a more alkaline diet is because they are also reducing their consumption of grains and dairy products, both of which are highly allergenic. So when you reduce your consumption of grains and dairy products and you get those allergenic foods out of your diet, you start to feel better. You might have increased energy, less depression, improved gut function, and that's going to go a long way for you feeling better. Now, this isn't to say that eating more alkaline, that you should eat, as acidic as you want to, because when you shift, if you do eat more alkaline, you will shift your urine pH, and that can benefit people who have gout, people who have kidney stones, can all benefit from a more alkaline diet. So it's not a bad thing, but it's important to know that our ancestors, our paleo ancestors, consumed quite a bit of animal protein and very little grains, and they had a slightly more net acidic diet than they did an alkaline one. And they didn't have the osteoporosis or any of the conditions that you would associate with eating too many acidic foods like we talk about today. So when you look at eating a well-balanced diet, animal protein is a really integral part of that. It can help with regulating blood sugar levels. It helps with healing and repair of tissue, provides the amino acids necessary for proper neurotransmitter production. So it's really important not to get caught up in that, animal protein is really acidic and that's going to shift my body's pH, and that's not going to be a good thing, because actually that's not true. Your body's pH is going to be tightly regulated, and the most important thing that you can do is in addition to quality animal protein, is copious amounts of fruits and vegetables. And that creates a balance that your body can thrive in. So I hope that this has brought you some insight into the acid alkaline diet. If you have any questions about this, or you want me to talk more about a particular subject on this, let us know. Comment below if you can, or send us an email or give us a call and say, hey, talk a little bit more about this. So thank you for your time. I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you at Siskiyou Vital Medicine. Bye.